Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC. Today we dive into a massive story shaking the Liverpool fanbase. Speculation is growing that Jurgen Klopp could be asked to return as an emergency option, while Arne Slot fires back at criticism and insists the Reds are ready to fight on. Transfer tensions, dressing room pressure, and huge pundit reactions, this one has everything. Strap in, Reds, it's about to get dramatic at Anfield. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in the transfer window.
Liverpool could ask Jurgen Klopp to replace Arne Slot as emergency sack plan emerges. Arne Slot is under growing pressure following Liverpool's poor run of results, and the idea of bringing back Jurgen Klopp to Anfield is being seriously considered. As is the club's long-term plan, Liverpool could actually turn to former manager Jurgen Klopp. Should they decide to sack Arne Slot, the German is now reportedly being considered as a real candidate for the post he used to hold. Klopp left Liverpool in the summer of 2024 and was replaced by Slot. The Dutchman was an immediate hit and led Liverpool to the Premier League title in his first season, but has now come under mounting pressure following a disastrous run of 9 defeats in 12 matches. Across all competitions. Mirror Football understands the Liverpool manager is not in any immediate danger of the sack at present. However, the Sun report that should Slot ultimately be sacked by Anfield bosses, then they could approach Klopp about taking the role until the end of the season. It is claimed the club would then work on a deal for their top long-term target, PSG boss Luis Enrique. Report says that conversations have taken place among Liverpool executives over the future of Slot. Bosses are said to be worried that the manager is losing the dressing room, speaking following Wednesday night's 4-1 loss against PSV Eindhoven in the Champions League. Slot said, "It would be nice to turn it around and get a victory. But if you are working as a coach and not doing well, then it is normal that questions are asked. If you lose so many times, people start talking about that. I have got a lot of support from above. I am okay with my position. They don't call every single minute of the day to say they trust me. But in the normal conversations we have, I feel the trust." Liverpool are back in action on Sunday afternoon when they take on West Ham United at the London Stadium. 2:05 p.m. kickoff. A loss in that game would pile serious pressure on Slot's job. Following a summer transfer spend of over £420 million, it is hard to reason why the collapse has been so substantial. A whopping £125 million of that was spent on striker Alexander Isak. However, the Sweden international has struggled since moving from Newcastle, with his only goal for the club coming in the Carabao Cup win over Championship side Southampton. Klopp is currently employed by Red Bull as the head of global soccer, and speaking about the possibility over never returning to coaching again, Klopp gave an interesting answer. "That's what I think. But you don't know," he told The Athletic in October. "I'm 58. If I started again at 65, everybody will say, 'You said you'll never do it again.' Sorry, I thought 100% when I said it. That is what I think now. I don't miss anything about being a manager." Arne Slot rejects Liverpool criticism and insists Reds are up for a feat. Arne Slot insists his Liverpool team aren't lacking a fighting spirit as they head to West Ham United after suffering 9 defeats in 12. Arne Slot has denied his Liverpool team are lacking a fighting spirit, insisting his players are giving their all to address the club's worst run since the 1950s. The Premier League champions slumped to their 9th defeat in 12 games on Wednesday night when they were beaten 4-1 by PSV Eindhoven in the Champions League, a game which saw them ship 3 goals or more for the 3rd successive fixture. The Reds now head to West Ham United in 12th position in the Premier League table and under fire over accusations that they wilt too easily when the going gets tough. Slot, though, rejects that notion, saying, "In the first 85 minutes, or for large parts of the game against PSV, I saw a team that have had a lot of setbacks recently, and were still able to fight against that. Not always with the end product you would like, because fighting is of course part of what you should do, but if fight was enough to win a game of football, then it would be quite easy. You need a little bit of something extra as well. You need quality playing 1v1s, getting crosses in the box, and arriving with the right timing. But I see a team that never gives up. I see the running stats. I see it in the chances we create after we go down. But I agree the last 5 or 10 minutes against Forest and the last 5 or 10 minutes of yesterday's game were not the same as the other minutes we played. For me, that is not that this team lacks fighting spirit. No, maybe in the last few minutes, but not in the rest of the game. Liverpool-born Curtis Jones gave an impassioned interview after Wednesday night's game where he bemoaned the lack of a combative edge in the squad at present, admitting, "We're in the S*****, and it needs to change." Slot, speaking in his open press conference on Thursday afternoon, said, "Jones's interview is really good if you bring it to the game, and this is what the players at least tried to do yesterday. All the data in terms of running data was really high. They had a lot of personal bests. So they tried a lot, but it didn't lead to anything in terms of result. And I think this is what he is saying. If we can bring this as a team to the game, it is the minimum I expect and the minimum fans expect from us. That we fight." I use the word fight, he probably uses other words. But I think we are on the same page when it comes to getting out of the situation. Liverpool transfer news as Arne Slot overruled on player sale by Richard Hughes. Latest Liverpool transfer rumours as it is reported that Arne Slot did not want to lose Luis Diaz over the summer. While there is an update on Ibrahima Konate's contract situation, Arne Slot was reportedly overruled on the sale of Luis Diaz during the summer transfer window, with the Liverpool head coach apparently keen to keep hold of the Colombia international. Liverpool's squad was overhauled in the off-season, with Diaz among the key players from last season to move on to a new club. And while Diaz has flourished at Bayern Munich, his old club has failed to hit the heights it scaled last term. With Reds head coach Slot coming under scrutiny for the team's recent struggles, Liverpool's many departures over the summer made way for a host of high-profile signings, but all of them, Hugo Ekitike aside, have been hugely disappointing for a variety of reasons. Among many things that the Reds are currently missing is Diaz's directness in attack, and caught offside is reporting that his exit came as a disappointment to Slot. The report says that Slot pushed for Diaz to be handed a new contract at Anfield, but sporting director Richard Hughes did not see the value in handing the winger a lucrative deal, and opted to cash in when Bayern presented the Reds with an attractive offer. Diaz's deal was due to expire in the summer of 2027, but he was significantly underpaid relative to his standing in the squad, and the 28-year-old was keen to secure a lucrative deal at this stage in his career. Diaz is believed to have more than quadrupled his salary with his move to Bayern, and the Bavarian club is being rewarded for showing faith in the former Porto star, with Diaz having registered 11 goals and 5 assists across 18 appearances in all competitions. Meanwhile, Liverpool and Real Madrid are both said to be confident that Ibrahima Konate will be playing for their team. Next season, Konate's current contract at Anfield is due to expire at the end of the season, and Madrid is reportedly considering him as a possible free agent signing. Team talk says that Madrid is growing in confidence over its chances of landing Konate, but Liverpool also thinks it is in a strong position in talks over a contract extension for the France. International Konate's performances on the pitch have left much to be desired in recent weeks, and his place in the team could be under threat when Liverpool travels to West Ham this weekend, with Joe Gomez waiting in the wings.
Arne Slot's Liverpool situation only getting harder after Gary Lineker's verdict. Liverpool has lost 9 of its last 12 games in all competitions, and a tricky trip to West Ham, a team that has collected 7 points from its last 3 league games, is on the horizon. Liverpool's season hit a new low on Wednesday night as the Reds were hammered 4-1 by PSV Eindhoven in the Champions League. The result means it's now 9 defeats in 12 games for Arne Slot's men, which is the same amount of losses that the team experienced across the entirety of the 2024-25 campaign, which spanned 56 games. Next up for Liverpool is a trip to West Ham, as the Reds search for a much-needed win that would ease the pressure on Slot and his players. Just 11 months ago, Slot's players rocked up in East London and scored 5 times without reply to underline their title credentials, with Mohamed Salah netting his 20th goal of a remarkable individual season. And when this season's fixture list came out, a trip to the London Stadium might have looked like a banker, given how uninspired the Hammers had looked under Graham Potter. However, while Liverpool's form has nosedived, West Ham looks revitalized under Nuno Espirito Santo, who replaced Potter in September. West Ham has taken 7 points from its last 3 games, which is more than Liverpool has managed in its last 8 games, and Nuno's players will go into Sunday's game full of confidence that they can build on their good recent form. Former Match of the Day host Gary Lineker said over the weekend that Nuno is doing a pretty good job at West Ham following his acrimonious Nottingham Forest exit at the start of September. And it's difficult to disagree with him. The Hammers have scored 6 goals in their last 2 home games, which will worry Liverpool supporters who have seen their team concede a truckload of goals since the start of the campaign. The Reds have shipped 34 goals in 20 games, with 16 of those goals coming in the last 7 games, with the defensive situation showing no signs of improving. Against PSV, Liverpool fielded Curtis Jones as an auxiliary right back, but it was the team's specialist defenders who produced the most glaring errors. Virgil van Dijk's brainless handball handed PSV a golden opportunity to take the lead from the penalty spot early doors, before Ibrahima Konate's air kick allowed the Dutch side in to score its 3rd goal of the night. Milos Kerkez, who has been dreadful since moving to Liverpool from Bournemouth, was out of position for PSV's 2nd and 4th goals. With a free-scoring Hammers side next up, there won't be many Liverpool fans heading to London feeling too optimistic this weekend.